So welcome brothers to my new program Royal Rumble, and it's actually, some of you might know that I named my battle casts in the past Royal Rumble, but this program over here, the new Royal Rumble, is different. So this is a random match between two random players on the multiplayer lobby. So this is not my army, I'm not playing in this game. So these are two completely random players matched against each other. So I'm going in the multiplayer lobby, creating or host a game, and two random players will join it, and then I will spectate, and then I will cast this game for you. So no matter which skill level, no matter what you play, I'm going to cast the game afterwards on my channel. So this is a community cast, and yeah, I hope you like it also. I think I always love to cast games, not only my games, so I would love also to cast games, other games from other players. I mentioned it many times. If you have some good games in your library, please send me your replay. I'm going to cast it. But anyway, let's start over here with the Vampire Ghost of Yutro. So sorry if I mispronounced your name, but these are the Vampire Ghost, and these are the High Elves of the player Laura Raw. So as I said, sorry if I mispronounced your name, but let's start with both builds. Over here we have Blood Knights, and I think he brought 3 groups of Blood Knights to the battlefield, what I think is a quite decent pick. We have 1 over here and 2 here. This is a very decent pick. Against the High Elves, you can perform very superior against the Dragon Princes, for example, and also large entities. Or we have another one. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. That's three groups of Blood Knights and 1 group of Black Knights. So 3 Blood Knights and in addition a group of Black Knights. I'm not sure how's the performance of the Black Knights, but 3 groups of Blood Knights are definitely quite okay, even if I think this is a lot of stuff bound in 3 groups of cavalry. Then we have the Dire Pack, the Regiment of Renown of the Dire Wolves, another group of Dire Wolves, and the infantry is based on Skeleton Warriors over here, and 5 groups of Skeleton Warriors. Heinrich Kammler on his steed. This is quite new. It's possible to sit him on a steed now, what I think is quite good, because on foot this was horrific. On steed he's performing much better. And then we have the Sternsman. Please be aware with the Sternsman, their armor AP damage is not the best, and you need a lot of AP damage against the High Elves. But even though they have a bonus versus infantry, and in some cases this is also quite good even against heavily armored targets. Then we have Felbats to interrupt enemy archers and stuff. And yeah, let's come to the High Elf player Laura Raw. We have 2 Flamespire Phoenixes, quite interesting pick. And then we have a Princess on a Great Eagle also. Quite a cheap combination for a Lord. And then we have a infantry line up with Swordsmasters of Hood and Phoenix Guard, White Lions of Grace, and Spearmen. 3 groups of Spearmen, 1 group of Phoenix Guard, 1 group of Swordsmasters, 1 group of White Lions of Grace, and 2 groups of Lothan Sea Guard. I'm not sure if I would bring archers at all against the Vampire Counts. They can spawn race dead all the time. But if I would bring archers, I would bring Lothan Sea Guard. So this is, in my opinion, quite decent, because these guys can't defend themselves, and for this reason, this is okay. And we have, last but not least, a group of Silver Helms. And these guys, of course, screwed in this matchup, because against Blood Elves, they of course get annihilated very fast. But even though, let's start over here, and as I said, we have some bombs throwing of the Flamespire Phoenix, causing a quite good amount of damage on the Skeleton Warriors. But I would wait in most cases if the units get engaged in a frontline fight, and then I will start to throw the bombs. But the harass damage over here is okay. We have the Blood Knights now coming on the left flank over here. On the right flank, another group of Blood Knights with the Black Knights over here. And we have the Army Corps on the left flank. So this is a quite good position, I would say. And he probably going to start to attack over here the High Elf player. course, he has definitely the aerial threat with 2 Flamespire Phoenixes. This is quite good over here. Also with the Princess on the Great Eagle. So if the Vampire Count player would have brought more, well, a charge in over here, Blood Knights against the Silver Helms, you can see took a lot of damage to Silver Helms, but also the Blood Knights took a little bit of damage actually. We have the Black Knights supporting the Blood Knights, but now we have the Flamespire Phoenix joining the fight over here. What I think is a quite interesting, it's very good of Lower Raw to support the Silver Helms here, because these guys get annihilated. But you can see now also the Blood Knights took quite a good amount of damage, even if these Silver Helms now rounding off. It took too much damage. The Blood Knights are really superior. Now we have also here in the back line Blood Knights now chasing these Lawthorn Seaguard, and as I said, the Lawthorn Seaguard are in the most cases quite able to defend themselves, but we have Black Knights over here and now Blood Knights joining. But even though against Blood Knights and Black Knights they get really overwhelmed, but as I said, they're doing also a quite good amount of damage. So it's not they are not really they're really able to defend themselves. We have now the Phoenix Guard joining over here, and this is a quite dangerous situation for the Vampire Count player, because the Blood Knights get a huge amount of damage from these Phoenix Guards over here, and you can see now he retreats. But the Lawthorn Seaguard group is shaken. They get really overwhelmed from 2 groups, from the Black Knights and the Blood Knights. So we have here a little the Spearman units trying to chase away these Blood Knights or these Black Knights, and all the complete army blob over here of the Vampire Counts player. You can see there's a huge blob over here now chasing his infantry. One cast maybe of a good spell in this blob over here. Maybe these guys would get a huge amount of damage over here. Now we have the charge, and you can say these Phoenix Guard have of course no problem whatsoever against the Skeleton Warriors, and also not the Spearmen should also perform quite well against the Skeleton Warriors, should be able to hold the line for a good amount of time. So the infantry of the Vampire Count player is definitely screwed over here. You can see these guys are starting to melt away. They're still able to hold the line, because as I said, this is a huge blob of units over here. You can see, let's do some cinematics. As I said, with some magic directly casting in this blob of Skeleton Warriors, this would be devastating. But actually it is, they are quite steady. So on the back line we have still the Vampire Counts. Give me a break. The Vampire Counts players still trying to kill these Lawthorn Seaguard over here. No, he's very good. So Kof our Utro chase these guys away. These guys are running off now, and now it's time to do some rear charges over here. You can see some very juicy rear charges in the High Elf back. But as I said, just with the infantry he wouldn't want that fight, definitely not. But we have very juicy rear charge over here in the back of these guys. But even though the Phoenix Guard is very steady, you can see that we have a very steady, let's do some cinematics, very steady group of Phoenix Guard over here. These guys, even with some rear charges from cavalry, these guys are still quite steady. You can see now they're starting to take a little bit of damage. But you can see here they are directly in the charge line of the Blood Knights, but you can see they are quite healthy. Still quite healthy, so they're performing quite good. So we have a massive fight going on over here, also with the Flamespire Phoenixes. Now in my opinion, the Felbats were quite useless in this game, because they cannot really attack the Lawthorn Seaguard. The Lawthorn Seaguard annihilate these Felbats really fast, so they are quite useless in this game. But even though they can interrupt these units over here. Now, another rear charge in the back of these of the High Elf units, and this is a little bit a problem. The High Elf player has any mobility left, so we have just his infantry units, and now with 3 groups of Blood Knights the vampire count player can do some rear charges all the time, but we have still some 2 Flamespire Phoenixes fighting the Blood Knights over here, the Black Knights. Now we have a cast. What is this over here? Probably just an invocation of an hack or a raised dead. Nothing special. Let's do some cinematics always for you. So they're looking so beautiful. Also the Frostspire Phoenix, both units are looking very, very beautiful. And of course against all these brainless zombies, the performance is very good. We have another charge in over here, and now the White Lions of Grace break, and also the Swordsmasters of Horde Shaken will break in a few seconds. We have Krell fighting in here, so I didn't mention that. The Krell is also doing a great job against other infantry units, of course, and especially against White Lions of Grace. The performance is really, really good. Overall in a group of infantry, he really is doing a devastating amount of damage, because also he has a quite good amount of splash damage. He's, in my opinion, designed to fight infantry units. Or he's anti-large actually. Okay, this is that I'm wrong. Let's take a look if he has an anti-large bonus. Yeah, we have a bonus that's large of 20, what is quite okay. But he's also, in my opinion, he's also fighting very well in infantry ranks, doing well against infantry groups. So now with all these rear charges, all this stuff, the high elf player get really overwhelmed, and we have a lot of skeletons here, skeleton warriors fighting, still quite healthy. This Flamespire Phoenix is doing a great job, but against the Blood Knights they get really overwhelmed. So I think in this matchup it was really a good point to bring 3 groups of Blood Knights, even if the infantry is crap, but you have at least the better cavalry if you brought 3 groups of Blood Knights, and you can also perform now really well against the Flamespire Phoenixes. And now they're shattered, mess route over here, because they get really overwhelmed. So the difference over here is definitely the Blood Knights, 3 groups annihilated these Silver Helms in the beginning very, very fast, and directly after that the Lorthan Seaguard, they get overwhelmed, and then we had just the Flamespire Phoenixes and the infantry left, and we all know that the Blood Knights are anti-large, also doing a great job against the Flamespire Phoenixes. So Kof Outro, thank you for that match, and also Laura Raw, I hope you had a little bit of fun. I like this match. Also the builds are quite okay. As I said, the Felbats, I would leave these guys out. They're doing not a great job against the very good high elf archers. Also the Dire Wolves, we have 31 kills over here, but against the Lorthan Seaguard, leave this out. I would pick more, maybe, I think the version with the 3 Blood Knights, I like that in this game. But anyway, thank you for watching the first episode of Royal Rumble. If you see me in the multiplayer area with my, if I'm hosting a game, join this game, fight a match, and I will cast it on my channel, or send me your replay. I will do it also. Have a nice evening and see you next time.